from the Glenview Club in Gulf, Illinois, and welcome to day one of the APTA's coverage of the 44th Annual Chicago Charities, the second Grand Prix apprent of the 2017-2018 season. Brought to you by the APTA's national sponsors, Viking, Save-A-Tree, and Uline, and of course, eNet Live, our live stream production partner. I'm Mark Fischel, along with Patty Hogan, bringing you this blockbuster quarterfinal matchup between Hansich and Van Starrenburg, the defending national champions, and they'll be playing Zubori and Ondrejkova. Patty, tell us about the teams.
Okay, well, Martina Ondrejkova and Anna Zubori, they're the tournament number 5 seeds here, and Martina is a defending national champ. Not the defending, she's a woman nationals champ. She won with Gabby Niculescu in 2016, as you see on that screen. They're a fairly new team, amazingly talented team, and they're up against our number 3 seeds and our defending national champs, Flora Hansich and Van Starrenburg. They're from Stamford, Connecticut, as you can see on the screen, and Mount Kisco, New York. Mark, I think this is a treat. This is highly anticipated. We are so happy that we got this matchup here as our last match of the day, quarterfinal match, Chicago Charities, and I think it's going to be a thriller.
We're going to take a look at how each team's got here today. There's the draw. Hansich Van Starrenburg, relatively easy path. Ondrejkova Zubori had a tough 3-setter. Local team of Barrington Morgan. It looks like they're getting started. We're also going to go quickly to the Viking keys to the match. And let's talk about that a little bit, Patty.
Okay, sorry, Mark. I think that there's 4 keys to this match that we've discussed, and one of them is tempo. And Mark, why is that so critical for both these teams?
Well, I think that Hansich and Van Starrenburg can play fast and they can play slow. I've yet to see Ondrejkova and Zubori play well slowly. And this is Anna Zubori serving to Annika Van Starrenburg. And there's going to be another one of our keys, which is the return and blitz, as we see there, executed perfectly by Hansich Van Starrenburg.
And when you mean less is more, Mark, can you explain that to the audience?
I think that especially for Ondrejkova and Zubori, they need to hit a lot of smart, soft overheads. I call it the Jim Kaufman overhead. Just soft in the middle of the court, make your opponents generate their own pace.
And then, Mark, I think one of the last things we discussed that's going to be critical are the volleys and positioning at the net for these teams.
Well, I call that the Hogan adage. And you taught me this many years ago, Patty, which is that the women's team that misses the fewest volleys often wins the match, and that's a result of good movement and good positioning at the net.
And whether it's men's matches, or women's, it's so critical to be able to defend that initial offensive onslaught that you see in the women's game here, right off the return of serve. And I think who handles the first volley is going to be significant in this match.
And here's the best way to handle it. Playing Australian makes it very hard to blitz against them. Great exchange at the net. Zubori and Ondrejkova back from love 40 to game point. There they are playing I formation with signals.
Deuce.
Those are the types of errors that Ondrejkova and Zubori can't afford to make, just giving away points. That wasn't a difficult shot. She wasn't in a tough position, just missed a lob.
Advantage Van Starrenburg.
Followed by a fault. (5-2) Dardis and Shea on the next court.
First set of a quarterfinal matchup against Jay McNitt and Chelsea Nuzlocke.
So back to deuce here.
Mark, how did these teams know right away to go to Australian? How did Zubori and Martina know that?
They've played against each other. They play a lot of paddle in the Greenwich area. All four of them are right up there in northern Westchester, southern Connecticut. So they have a lot of familiarity with one another.
So they don't wait to see how a match develops. They have their tactics already in place, starting out even in the first game of the match.
And you have some tremendous athletes in the court, especially Ondrejkova and Starrenburg and Anna Zubori. There's a hold for Zubori to start the match.
Ondrejkova, Zubori.
And I think
They
all of
lead
these
1
players,
game
Mark,
0,
have
first
tremendous
set.
athletic ability. And one of the things, Cece Durbin, remember Cece, I played against her years ago out here. She talked about the speed and the quickness and the footwork that you see with all of these women. And many of them we see from the quarters on are all teaching pros. They play every single day, hit balls all the time. And you just see the anticipation, quickness, speed combination.
Well, you have 3 national champions on the court, along with Zubori, who is the newest to the game. Really, last year was her full year playing, and she is a talent. Oh, inside out passing shot.
Love 15.
We are in agreement. The wild card in this match will be Anna Zubori out of the far side at court, returning serve right now.
And right away they start staying back to her. That's a
30.
lot of respect for her forehand. I really look for Hansich and Starrenburg to slow it down and play a very patient style. So that's love 40. Boy, after that winning the first 3 points, Hansich and Starrenburg looked a little bit shaky since.
But I've seen this all day, Mark, with the return of serve,
Game
just
Ondrejkova,
dominating play here over
Zubori,
everyone's
they lead
serves.
2 games to none. First
That
set.
game was 2 faults also. So 2 love, Ondrejkova, Zubori.
So Ondrejkova's serving. And Mark, if I had asked you before this started, who was it more important to get a quick start?
Absolutely, Ondrejkova, Zubori. Although it's interesting to me, Patty, Hansich and Starrenburg have not played well so far this year. Defending national champions, a lot of pressure on them, great court coverage. See some of that athleticism we talked about earlier.
I think there is a lot of pressure on them, and I think they relish it, they embrace it, they handle themselves beautifully out here. But I think in every match, they know everyone is after them, every tournament now.
Really good start for Ondrejkova, Zubori. 30 love. First set to Darda Shea, 6-2. Oh, great hands.
Mark, do you want to make a bet if the Darda Shea match goes 3 sets right now? Should we have a small wager?
30-15.
Unusual for them to win the first set. Yeah, and you can see at the net where Ondrejkova and Zubori aren't moving as well together, and there the failure to shift hurt them. Good ball from Flor Hansich.
Mark, the far team, Van Starrenburg, Hansich. How much is sun a
40-15.
factor out there now?
Looks pretty bad. Van Starrenburg's missed a number of shots earlier, which is very unusual. She's so solid. Good
40-30.
return by Hansich there. They also haven't blitzed this game, which is interesting to me. Ondrejkova's got a very hard, flat serve. She misses the volley.
First deuce.
Gene Kempner's up in the chair. Longtime PPTA professional, pro out of this area. Gives back to the game all the time, Mark.
There's the blitz executed perfectly.
Advantage
Back to
Van
game point.
Starrenburg.
This would be a big game for Hansich Van Starrenburg to win. Yeah, another missed volley. They're back on serve.
Game von Starrenburg, Hansich. Ondrejkova, Zubori
We're going
lead.
to try and show our viewers what it looks like for the team on the far side looking into the sun.
Yeah, you can appreciate all the glare coming off the court, Mark.
Yeah, the sun's coming right in that corner.
On that break right there by Hansich van Starrenburg, I saw something that I saw a little bit in the 16s with Zubori and Ondrejkova, and that was sometimes they would volley from sort of a passive net position, sort of halfway between the service line and net, versus closing when they know the drive is coming. And
so by passive, Patty, do you mean bad?
No, I just mean passive, not really going to attack, Mark. Not bad.
Yeah, I would say they're out of position when they're there, because I noticed the same thing when they're a couple of steps inside the service line. Zubori's also got a tendency to take a couple of steps inside the baseline, which is a dangerous place to be.
Sorry. To me, if Zubori and Ondrejkova can close in, their chances to do really well here go way up. Because obviously the abilities from Hansich and van Starrenburg just to pounce will never go away.
And that goes to making more volleys.
$15
Looked like a little hesitation coming in from that ad corner with the sun.
I'm not sure why. It's where she's got to get closer to the net, which is exactly what you were just saying.
30-15.
Mark, we're out at the Glenview Club outside of Chicago, and it is a beautiful day, which we're not going to say for the rest of the weekend. Got a lot of rain coming in, evidently.
Zubori catches the lead cord. I like how Zubori plays shallow in the court, takes the ball early, aka Steve DeRose. Puts a lot of pressure on your opponents when you do that.
And she takes time away from her opponents, and she can make them rush. We talk about tempo.
Now there's a missed forehand volley, Patty, and that's a result of not sliding to the middle of the court and presenting the backhand.
Advantage, Zubori.
We have Hansich van Starrenburg staying back in respect to Zubori's return to serve.
And partly because Annika is not feeling it on her serve right now.
Here's what we talked about with the overheads, Patty. Are they going to get in trouble with that down-up overhead as opposed to hitting that softball down the middle? Now Hansich catches the net cord there, but that was not a good overhead from Ondrejkova.
Down up is okay if it goes down again into the back screen toward a corner.
And Hansich caught that ball before it did and paid to pay for it. Martina catches the nick with the forehand.
Zubori.
I think these early games are really important for Ondrejkova Zubori. They had a chance to win the third game. They really have to capitalize here on the fourth. there's the careless error we talked
Scores
about
deuce.
that you just can't afford to make at this point, this level. And I think it's partially a result of Zubori doesn't have a go-to overhead. One overhead she's comfortable hitting every single time. You see it with Gabby Nicolescu. She's got that great roller. Another big return from
Advantage,
Ondrejkova.
Zubori.
Wow.
Game, Ondrejkova, Zubori.
Don't see that too much from
They
Van
lead 3 games to
Starrenburg.
1, first set.
3-1 first set. Ondrejkova Zubori.
Really impressed by Zubori. Never surprised by the calmness of Ondrejkova, but Zubori, to me, has shown up to play in these first 4 games, and that's really huge for them mentally. And
That's the overhead I want to see more of from them. So you saw the good and the bad there. They got away with the up-down overhead. Van Starrenburg seems a little bit out of sorts, Patty. Don't you think so?
I think maybe her family here has got her nervous. Her parents are here and her brother, and I think she definitely has some nerves going right now.
She's from the Chicago area. And again, forehand volley, out of position. Great ball from Hansich there.
And
Same
again,
thing.
you could
Failure
just
to shift.
Yep. They're kind of waiting, reacting, reaching, versus filling a lane of coverage and then being able to hit a volley that can go deep.
And if you're hitting forehand volleys on a regular basis, that's a loud message you're out of position. Oh, great exchange. But again, aggressive overhead got her in trouble.
Well, I think when you have a choice of 4 spots on the court,
Quick look in, very quick, on the next court.
when you have a choice where to hit an overhead and you're the player to the left of 2 players,
Here we are back. Nusluk serving to Shea. Jane McNitt misses the volley.
Darcy and Shea won the first set 6-2 in this quarterfinal match on the other court. So, Mark, what I was going to explain,
As we're now back to the original court, Patty.
you have any overhead in the book, you're the person who's to the left of the 2 players on the court. Hit to the 2 players' backhands over their forehands any day of the week until they prove otherwise. And
Yep.
just can't bail out and dump it into the deuce court. This level of play, they'll make you pay every time.
I think part of the problem, Patty, is when you're a
115.
tennis player and you come play the game, and overhead is an aggressive shot. We call it an overhead, but it's really not an overhead. It's more of a high volley. And it's certainly not an aggressive shot unless you're Johan Durant or Drew Broderick.
You could see it right there. Martina let that ball get to her on the overhead versus attacking it like a tennis overhead much earlier. There, that was a beautiful shot. She just dropped back. She was pushed back. She pushed the ball deep. All of a sudden, we're in trouble now. The short volley, then it leads to explosiveness.
Oh, great get.
It's a great get.
But that would go to the adage that there is no bad lob. It got over the net, and the spin had
Love
Van
30.
Starrenburg in trouble. Back to love 30 quickly. Holds the server at a premium right now.
And this is all about the return of serves of Ondrejkova and particularly Zubori out of that ad court. She's in their heads as servers, Mark.
And there's lack of communication from Ondrejkova
15-30.
Zubori at the net. And I was going to say to you, I don't hear them calling a lot of balls. And that's what gets you in trouble. Real good serve from
30
Hansich.
all.
Get the feeling that if Hansich and Starrenburg can kind of get their feet in the ground with a solid hold, they're going to take control of this match. This lob
30-40.
from Hansich, she will not be happy about that. Husband Martin Bostrom will have a talk with her about that. Oh, great blitz, and she misses it, and it's 4-2.
Game. Ondrejkova,
Speaking of that, Patty, you
Zubori,
think they got a
lead
decent
4
shot at
games
the
to
husband
2,
wives
first
this year,
set.
Martin Bostrom?
They're going to be in my top
Before
4.
Hansich? The top 4, you
Top
think? Patty?
4.
Wow, that's an aggressive pick.
A bold choice. So at
Some
4-2,
lob.
Mark, one of the things I noticed this morning with Ondrejkova and Zubori is I feel like Martina's a little hesitant to say too much to Zubori over there because she knows Zubori's like, it's processing tremendous amount of information and you can't make it too mental in the middle of a match. So I think Martina's just playing it cool here. I feel like at a moment of truth, she'll give some guidance.
Another miss from Van
15 love.
Starrenburg. Right shot, just catches the top of the tape.
That's the Annika
15
play, and
all.
they need that spark.
That's the blitzing we talked about.
You know, she tried that a point ago and missed, but that's when she's at her best, so she's going to keep doing it.
I love the communication between Ondrejkova and Zubori. And there they get burned trying to blitz. And you'd think that Ondrejkova and Zubori would be a tough team to blitz because they serve so well.
But they back off the net, both of them as a team. This is what we saw in the 16s.
Exactly. And then you had Zubori trying to make a volley from maybe one step instead of the service line. And you can't volley from there. At least not on a consistent basis.
Yep. I think if Flora and Annika can just relax, they don't have to
40-30.
win it on the first shot. But
They're playing so fast. That's the tempo we talked about and the keys to the match. Big point right here for 5-2.
and
Wow, Van
Game.
Starrenburg's missed a
Ondrejkova
lot of
Zubori.
foreheads.
They lead 5 games
And
to 2.
your hunch was that
set.
Hansich and Van Starrenburg would be able to slow this match and control the tempo, when in fact they've not. The match is going way too fast for them right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised, especially staying back on serve. That's another opportunity to slow the match down because they're not losing any points. Viking Athletics is the premier brand and undisputed leader in platform tennis. Viking is platform tennis. The Viking Extra Duty platform ball has been the #1 selling ball in the industry for the last 20 years. It's the official ball of the APTA, Nationals Cup, President of the APTA Nationals, and President's Cup, and of course the Grand Prix Tour. Okay, Patty, Van Starrenburg to serve, 2-5, first set. There's
She
that big
struggled on
forehand.
her serve today, and
15.
And there they decided to play in. That's the first time they've been in several games. They look a little confused, don't they? Searching for something. that ball was
15
overhit.
all.
And that's the play. They're going to see if Zubori can have the maturity and discipline here to kind of keep the ball in play.
15-30.
And that forehand miss was a ball that you've got to hit in the right place. The pace is less important than the placement. Finding that right hip on a right-hander. Matches the top of tape there. Do you think, Patty, that Hansich van Starrenburg are showing them too much respect?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, me too.
I think if they're going to stay back, they should both start the point on the baseline. I see no value in their I formation or keeping floor up there right now.
There's the forehand you like to see. She finds the right hip.
40-30.
But again, Ondrejkova's got to slide over to her right there.
So will Zubori put this return in play, Mark? Yes or no?
No, she's going to swing at it.
It's the only time you've been wrong today, Mark.
I was right there, Patty. She took a swing at it.
She put it in play.
Yeah, see the movement at the net. They're moving late. They're moving in response to their opponent's
Hansich.
shots rather than getting in
Ondrejkova,
position
Zubori lead,
before the
5
ball's hit.
games to 3, first set.
Credit to Van Starrenburg and Hansich to battle in that game.
A hold, their first hold of the match. And there's the blitz.
Love 15.
You know, we said Van Starrenburg wasn't feeling comfortable. All of a sudden, the last 4 points, I think she's feeling more
Love
comfortable.
30.
Sloppy miss. That's a great volley.
15-30.
There's not much Zubori can't do on the court. But the key is not that you can do it, but can you do it over and over again?
And Mark, I think she has every tool, every shot in the book from what I could see today. But it's about decision making. When do you pull out your tools?
Right.
Using them at the appropriate time. And
2 points
playing
from-
the score.
2 points from the set. I love Van Starrenburg's aggressiveness from the backcourt. She's always looking for the blitz. This is that one that takes us to set point.
40-30.
Great ball from Ondrejkova. Game in first set. Ondrejkova Zubori, 6 games to 3.
Zubori,
We'll be back
6
in a
games
moment
to 3.
after these messages right here on the APT Network, presented by eNet Live.
You have to have a passion for taking care of the customer, and you have to do your job as if your last name was Uline.
For my business, everything's go, 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 and the customer service alone is one of the most valuable things for us. We can call and the phone's picked up immediately. We never have to wait in a queue.
The phones don't ring at least half the time because they go directly into the headsets of our customer service representatives because they know we're waiting for it, and it can be a very fast transaction for them.
Order placed by 6 o'clock p.m. Order ships out customer gets that product more often than not in one business day.
Not only are those orders going out the door quickly, but accurately.
We live and breathe reliability.
But we really do care if a product's returned. We do care if it's not working right. We try to do it better every day.
Every single person looks at customer comments. I mean, that's where we learn.
Come to Uline because service has always been much, much better here. I always feel like you're treated like you're appreciated, you know.
We do it well. We do it real well.
Once a customer gets used to that, why would you want to leave? We treat you well.
Welcome back to the Chicago Charities. We're in the quarterfinal round. Just finished the first set. Hansich and Starrenburg lost it to Ondrejkova and Zubori. And I say lost it, Patty, because I think that's what happened.
I think that they showed too much respect to the... I mean, they struggled on their serve. They couldn't hold serve. Right, Mark? They worried so much about the drives. They didn't really get themselves in proper position. I think they go back to the basics here. They got to get their serves in, and they need to control the tempo. That was the most important thing we talked about, and you said their strength is if they can dictate slow play down a little bit. This has gone very fast. This 26-minute first set, which is amazing. We've seen 2 games of matches last 20 minutes, so at this pace of play, it's all Ondrejkova Zubori.
Yeah, I was really surprised that they came out staying back on their serves. But the strange thing was, even though they were doing that, they still didn't play a really slow match.
So, Mark, I've watched 3 hours of Zubori here. Sure reminds me a lot of Roxy.
Yeah, Roxy Anika.
I love
we got to say a shout out to Roxy. Is home, 8 months pregnant. We miss you, Roxy.
But the grip changes, the variety of shot, and as Roxy Rose become one of the best players in the game because of her decision making.
So here they are staying back again. And it's not like Zubori's hurt him with return of serve. It's more a function of, I mean, she's missed a bunch of returns, so I'm somewhat surprised by it. This is a really important game for Hansich and Starrenburg. They just seem tight to me, Patty. They don't seem comfortable out there.
Just flat as a team. We've seen 1 or 2 little sparks in their play, but they are kind of reacting to what's going on here. They're not dictating at all. Look at that athleticism right there.
Missed that one wide. Great point. There's good deep serve from Hansich.
40-30.
And I like that Van Starrenburg's playing in this time. Hit a good serve, come to net, make the volley. Okay. That was big forehand, but you forced the error.
APTA, thanks to our official sponsor, Save-A-Tree. The green choice for tree, shrub, and lawn care. Let's save a tree. Focus on your landscape so you can focus on your game and enjoy every outdoor moment at home or at play. Save-A-Tree provides environmentally sensible services to properties in the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Midwest, and Western regions. Contact them at saveatree.com for a complimentary landscape assessment by a knowledgeable arborist.
15 love.
Okay, back to the action. Zubori serving, 15 love. Second game. The other thing that they do is you notice that when either Zubori or Ondrejkova is hitting the overheads, the other one tends to fade back with them. Zubori didn't do it on that ball, but here she is. She's 2 feet inside the service line as Ondrejkova is hitting the overheads. Now Hansich missed that ball, but what should she be doing, Patty?
I think it depends on your opponent, and it depends on your comfort zone. I think also as a volleyer. And I think Zubori fears nothing and assumes she can volley from anywhere on the court. So I don't think she really thinks she needs to close in that situation yet. I think if she had to play more volleys from that spot and was missing them, then she would move in. But I just feel like she's so good that she just kind of splits the difference and loves to let that ball drop right on top of her sneakers, and she makes that volley.
And there she is watching Martina's overheads.
Well, I think if anything, she could just slide over a little to her left. I'm not a fan of that person tucking up off of that overhead, because then you're really vulnerable. You sort of expose a backhand overhead more.
30 all.
This volley and a fault takes us to break point. It's a dangerous angle to hit that overhead, but she gets away with it and forces the error.
So it looks like Floor is the target on the overheads, Mark, more than Annika.
Couple of wild forehands from Hansich. Great volley.
As Floor's husband knows, Martin Bostrom, part of Bostrom Bredberg, they played a phenomenal tournament last weekend at the Atlanta Classic, going out to Broderick Bomber, 7-6, incredible match, great tiebreaker.
At match point.
And Martin is a player who has every shot in the book, but it's learning, it's the decision making, staying mentally tough.
I don't think he's called Martin. I think he's called Floor's husband.
Second set.
Okay, a couple of holds to start the second set. And I think the tempo's better for Hansich than Starrenburg, but still making some surprising errors.
It doesn't seem like they've solved any bit of the puzzle about how they're going to go after Zubori, Ondrejkova here.
And I really like how Ondrejkova and Zubori are talking about what they're doing. And Starrenburg really struggled with her serve in the first set.
She came up with a big hold when she was down 2-5, so we'll see if she can come up here.
And there's an example. She's staying back, which I don't mind against Ondrejkova's good return of serve, but then she tries to pick up a half volley with her partner at the net. It was just kind of an awkward situation. Oh, great pickup. Boy, Zubori is smooth.
Love 30.
And I think that's where Floor just has to put some balls in play here. She's just missing the first offensive opportunity she gets. She just has to make them volley that and wait for the shorter volley.
Playing so fast.
Do they have a dinner reservation, Mark, tonight?
Oh, that's a great combination.
Love 40.
Couple of great backhands from Ondrejkova, followed by the big forehand from Zubori.
And
Good
I think
control.
they either have to commit, Mark, and go and try to stuff a volley or bail altogether. They're just standing in the middle, and it's just way too easy for Zubori to pick them apart.
There's
And to her
another
credit,
fault.
she's
That's
picking them
right.
apart.
Ondrejkova,
She
Zubori.
is.
They lead 2-1 second set. They won the first set 6-2.
Little frustration there from Hansich, and I liked her forehand that she just hit right there. She hit it high enough on the screen. It would have been a ball that was good, and maybe that was a note to self. Hit the ball higher. You have to hit it higher to get it over the net.
You surprised they're not slowing it down? There's a sneak peek at Dardish Shea, McKnight Nutzlock, McKnitt Nutzlock. Okay, that was a sneak peek.
Very sneak.
Martina Ondrejkova to serve, 2-1 second set. Good forehand from Hansich there, but there's an
Love
example of what you're
15.
talking about, volleying from the service line. And that overheads, hit it down the middle, find a backhand. Oh, that ball barely caught the line. Oh!
Zori,
tweener
we
lead
might need
cord
to
winner.
see that again.
She likes that
15
shot,
all.
doesn't she? I think we might have to see that one on instant replay.
We could have a contest with maybe Juan doing that shot with Anna.
A miss lob from Van Starrenburg. This thing's getting away from Hansich Van Starrenburg, Patty.
30-15.
It is. I am surprised that they've not made any adjustment yet.
They're driving a lot.
You write it on here. Thanks. It's okay.
Again, there's that short overhead to Flor Hanish's forehand.
There's Flor. Two shots she made. Forced the ball over to Annika. I mean, that's what they need. Then you can get Ondrejkova and Zubori caught in a shift. Great lob up the line there.
Given how much success they're having lobbing, why are they not doing it more? Great ball there. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. There have been so many bad
30
overheads
all.
hitting to Flor Hanish's forehand. 30 all.
We could have a contest. With Anna.
There's a missed
from Van
forehand, takes us to
Starrenburg.
game point. This thing's getting away from Hansich Van Starrenburg, Patty.
30-15.
It is. I am surprised.
See, that's a much better overhead. Question is, how many of those are they willing to hit?
And it's off speed to the deuce player's backhand, right, Mark? That's
Yeah, middle of the court.
that's why you like it better than the one that goes over to her forehand in that deuce court.
It's also a much lower ball, so it's a much harder ball to drive.
Who's out? Correct call.
Great blitz, but she misses the volley. Call confirmed by chair
Game
umpire
Ondrejkova,
Gene Kempner.
Zubori. They lead 3
And
games
it's
to
3-1.
I mean, that was the ideal setup. Annika just didn't execute that last shot. She got the perfect play.
This is a really important hold for Hansich Van Starrenburg.
How rock solid is Ondrejkova, Mark?
Oh, great blitz. Great get from Hansich.
I mean, has she missed 3 shots in this match?
Played very well. She is a national champion.
Wow, what an eye right there.
Another missed lob,
Love
though.
15.
How many lobs would you miss in a tournament, Patty?
Not many, Mark.
Any? I mean, really? Play 4 or 5 matches?
Love 30.
I kind of learned the game with the school of thought was that you lob for height You don't worry about the depth. Lobbing for more height takes away what they can do to you on their overheads. So I went with that.
Love 30.
Love 40.
Look confused to me, Patty. Haven't seen the I formation, haven't seen Australian, haven't seen too many in the way of signals from them.
Wow, that was a big time shot
40.
from Annika right there.
Yep, great backhand. That's Annika's strength right there. Big moment of the match right here. There we go. I like seeing him in the I formation. Australian.
Down the line, return to serve.
I guess it doesn't matter if you fault, though.
Game, Ondrejkova, Zubori. They lead 4-1. Second set. They won the first set.
If this match goes fast, we're going to try and switch the third set, if it occurs, of the Dardish-Shea McNitt-Nusslock match to this court. As Chelsea Nusslock takes one off the back. They were ahead 4-3 in the second set. It's now 4-all. Dardish-Shea allowed to play a straight set match? Is that violation of APTA rules? You were looking to bet before.
I'm going to lose $1.
Okay, so Zubori to serve 4-1 second set. Great volley. Great drive from Hansich there. A little lucky with the let cord.
Love 15.
But she had her out of position.
Mark, are Ondrejkova and Zubori just playing better? Thus the score.
Yeah, clearly that's part of it, but I think part of it is how poorly Hansich and Van Starrenburg have played. I mean, if I were out there in their ear, I would have them playing points like this. Very patient, lots of lobbing. Because they're having success every time they lob. They're getting good swings, they're getting balls to drive.
Because when they lob up the line and the play goes back cross court over to Annika, they can catch the net team with some, lack of coverage, Mark.
They lost that point, but that's exactly the type of point they want to play. Hansich had a real good forehand and just missed it. Oh, great hands from Van Starrenburg.
30-all.
Do you teach that play, Patty, where you lob the return and then blitz?
Yeah. Lob short and blitz. I even love that more.
Hansich just looks exasperated, and I understand why.
40-30.
I mean, she's had so many great looks on her forehand.
Point for 5-1.
It's a little of the confusion we saw earlier, and Zubori solves the problem, Mark, by taking the left position at the net.
No communication on that ball. They're really going after that Hansich forehand, aren't they?
And they've really broken Hansich over there in the deuce court today.
Keeping the ball away from Van Starrenburg as much as they can. Ondrejkova gets caught off the net on a forehand volley. Good backhand there from Hansich.
And that was a boring point for Hansich, but that was the best point she's played in a while.
Advantage, Zubori.
What a volley by Zubori there. Just pick up the blitz from Van Starrenburg and just wait on that forehand volley and put it behind her.
Game, Ondrejkova, Zubori.
Game, Ondrejkova, Zubori. They lead 5-1, second set.
And Starrenburg serving to stay in the match here.
Call's correct. He was out.
Great blitz, just misses it wide.
15-love.
She probably didn't need to make it that good. All she had to do is pick a spot anywhere in blue.
5-4 McNitt, second set. They lost the first set.
Who are they playing, Mark?
Artis and Shea might get your dime back. Dime or dollar? What do we say?
$1. Oh, I said $5, Mark.
Okay. Going up.
$40.
Chance for a Van Starrenburg hold, something we have not seen yet today.
A love game.
Couple of missed returns from Zubori there.
Von Starrenburg, Harish. Ondrejkova, Zubori lead 5-2, second set.
It was amazing to me, Patty, how little it takes to turn a match. One bad game, one lost point. Question is, can they turn it?
Who serves now, Mark? Martina?
Ondrejkova.
I'd be happy to have her serving for their team right now. She's been rock solid in this match, and I don't know. This is going fast.
Great volley from Zubori.
I mean, there is some confusion between Martina and Zubori at the net. There's no doubt.
It's uncomfortable watching them at the net because they just don't know who's going to hit what, and you can sense it. But yet here they are, 6-3, 5-2.
But that's where Hansich has to pick on the difficulty they're having and just keep pummeling that area.
30.
And there's Zubori retreating, where she's got to either continue to retreat, play the ball off the wires, or get out of the way. Tough ball. That's a surprising miss.
Good deep volleys from Ondrejkova.
There's Van Starrenburg playing in real tight, looking to steal time. Van Starrenburg does a great job of finding that right hip when she drives the ball.
30 all.
So we're 2 points from the match mark here.
A little tension
30,
possibly. Chance to get one of the breaks back. A great pickup. I will say that Hansich has been very versatile in her misses. Backhands, forehands.
Left, right, long, net. Unfortunately for her. Look at the lights on this court, Mark. Isn't the lighting at the Glenview Club phenomenal?
See the large crowd in the hut.
The Charities draws the best from a crowd of spectators. They love paddle.
Great blitz from Van Starrenburg there.
Advantage Von Starrenburg.
Another opportunity to break.
Van Starrenburg struggled on that return to serve all day. She looks like she's catching it late.
I don't know Rather, the pace of the serve is bothering her. She's usually a very clean striker of the ball. Some cheers for the Chicago team on the next court. It's set point over there, Patty.
For $1. I mean, for McNitt. Nuzlocke.
Really good overhits here as they get confused. Ondrejkova Zubori. She's very patient, middle of the court. And there's a bad one, but they able to make the volley.
So, Mark, do you have $1 or do you want to make a payment on Venmo? Dardis and Shea just split with McNitt and Chuzlock.
I owe you $1. Missed volley by Zubori there. Takes us back to break point. Good patience from Hansich.
Deuce.
Another missed return of serve.
Advantage
Match
Ondrejkova.
point. Ondrejkova Zubori.
Deuce.
One match point saved. Oh, what a volley.
Two great volleys by Zubori here.
Hansich misses the overhead wide. Tremendous athleticism from Zubori. Match point number 2. Fault from Ondrejkova. Starting to feel some tension out there, Patty, aren't they? Be a huge win for Ondrejkova Zubori. This is the volley long. It's the beautiful thing about our game, Patty. It's not over until you're shaking hands, and even then sometimes your opponent comes back to beat you.
I say it's not over until Dardis and Shea have played 3 sets. I mean, Zubori and Ondrejkova have just gone over Hansich and that do score it all day long mark. And I just feel like they're doing it enough that Hansich could have an opportunity to raise her level of play here. I feel like she's feeling it much more in the last 3 points.
That time Zubori closed the net.
Yep, they both did. They got the wall formed up there. This is a great point, Mark. I think the Hansich lob has to go up the line, Mark. I think she's hitting way too many kind of cross court. I think she had some success there, particularly, you know, up the line on Zubori.
That was the best point in net. I think Ondrejkova and Zubori played the whole match. Very solid, good movements, good overheads, good patience.
Back to deuce again. Something tells me Floor's going to rip this return of serve.
Something or someone?
There it is. That's the up the line lob. That I think would be helpful. Again, see how she got Zubori out of the service box. But Annika didn't move in. I think when you lob deep, you've got to apply a little more pressure. Be up on the baseline.
Von Starrenburg.
Bad miss there from Ondrejkova. And we should report that Kevin Anderson and Scott Bondurant won the 90s today.
Wait, Bondurant's 90?
Hard to believe. Actually, not hard to believe.
There's a 90 and a 110s, Mark?
90s and a 110s. There's a break.
Game.
One of the breaks back.
Hansich. Ondrejkova, Zubori lead, 5-3.
5-3. A little bit of
Second
sloppy
set. They
play
won the
there
first
again.
set,
You saw
6-2.
Zubori out of position and having to hit that backhand overhead.
I like that Martina's talking to her younger partner here and just kind of coming up with a plan.
Staying back on serve.
So the partner of the returner moved in because they saw the net team was not going to take the net.
Zubori catches the nick. Love 15.
Mark, does anyone ever play Australian against your return to serve?
No.
Me neither.
Zubori's missed several returns of late. I would challenge her here.
But it's confidence, Mark. If you're struggling on your serve, you know, you don't want to fault.
Now that's something I know a lot about, Patty. There's that uncertainty at the net we talked about last game.
10-mile-an-hour winner through the middle.
Maybe 8. You kind of feel this thing shifting.
Yep, I led a little sneak attack from Hansich right there, and Martina had to put the ball in play up the line.
Great look for Hansich, and she misses it.
Great. See how low Annika hit that overhead, those slice overhead marks? It was aiming right at that Save-A-Tree banner. I mean, that's
smart.
She's added that to her game since last season.
Point for 5-4. Again, Ondrejkova very smart. Going over to talk to her partner, giving her some encouragement. And there's the hold.
Game. Von Starrenburg, Hansich.
This whole match is going to swing on this one game, Patty. And I noticed that Zubori's kind of leaning over a little bit a couple of times in the last few minutes.
Well, she'd rather lean over and volley a forehand than shift over and volley a backhand, Mark. I mean, that's definitely her choice of volley there. And, you know, she just didn't follow the play. The ball went into the ad-court corner. She's got to seal off the middle of the court. And that's where she trusts her volley so much that she doesn't see really the importance, I think, of really making that dramatic shift.
Well, that 8-mile-an-hour winner might have turned the match. Great blitz.
15.
Who do you think's winning this match, Patty? Who do you think's winning this match?
think we're going to get a third set, Mark. Now it feels like that.
Well, if we get a third set, we know the big favorite is in the third set. And again, you see Ondrejkova Zubori backing off the net, but not retreating.
And I think in the moment of truth, you have to go win it. No one's going to give it to you at that point, and they're kind of sitting back waiting to win this match. And I think all of a sudden there's a totally different feel out here, and we're at 5-all in the second set.
5-all, second set.
Whole match shifted. 2 match points, couple of mistakes. See if they can regroup.
And when we go to the 8-mile-an-hour winner, so many times the drivers are not about how hard, but where and how well they're placed. Zubori and Ondrejkova do look a little confused at the net, and their positioning seems almost opposite from how most of the better teams play it. But I don't think you can capitalize unless you put lots of balls in play now, like what Hansich and Van Starrenburg are doing.
And they're taking advantage now.
15 love.
Wow. Forced the volley, knocked her hat off.
Been a while since Ondrejkova Zubori have won a point.
They've gone totally flat. And what I mean by flat is they're just flat-footed out here. They're not playing really any aggressive shots. They're just waiting and reacting. And you need to take charge out here to win these matches with the best players.
30 love.
30 love.
How many points out of the last 12 have Zubori and Ondrejkova won, Mark? 2? 2 or 3?
Yeah.
I mean, bad time to go cold.
And a missed lob from Ondrejkova. Great volley.
40-15.
It's a little backhand she holds and waits till where she can hit behind the player. That takes a little skill.
Think he wasn't relaxed enough on that volley?
That's an interesting point. I did see in the last match how composed she is. She really, in the moment where play speeds up, she does seem to have the ability to keep it kind of slow in her mind and in her hands.
And there's that Van Starrenburg blitz that we talked about.
Game. Van Starrenburg Hansich. They lead 6-5. Second set.
3 love Dardiche in the next court.
Talk about momentum. Dardiche lose that second set, go up 3 love. I mean, in about 8 minutes, I think, over there.
Who would have thought that match might be over before this one? Okay, let's see if Ondrejkova can serve a good game and get them into the tiebreak.
Love.
Much more solid return of serve from Annika there, Mark. You can tell she's feeling it now. And if I'm Hanisch, I think if your partner has the hot hand, get her a lot of touches on the play. Involve her in the point.
Absolutely. Little confusion at the net. That might have helped that volley. Oh, what a pickup. Floor's making hand signals. I think she's saying she's got to move into the ball, not just move horizontally, but vertically. 3 points for a tiebreak.
.40-15.
I just think Floor needs to have a little more discipline, and the plays, you know, from Van Starrenburg is fairly successful right now. Just get her more hits. That's a great return.
40-30.
2 missed half volleys in a row from Ondrejkova. More confusion at the net.
Deuce.
You can see that just not sure who's going to make the volley, and it's very difficult to know when you're not sure of whether it's your ball or not. And there it is, set point.
Advantage Van Starrenburg.
I don't know why they've gone away from the I formation. They've been very successful with the I formation there. And Hanisch has hurt them with a couple of returns in the regular formation. Oh, what a half volley that was.
Wow, we're right on the line. Great lot from Hanisch.
And she misses the volley wide. Game in second set. Hanisch Van Starrenburg. That was pretty unexpected, Patty. We'll be back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live.
When it comes to the game of life, we're all on the same team. And success comes simply from trying. You don't have to be a celebrated athlete to celebrate being active. And you don't have to be on the field to have your own cheering section. United Healthcare.
Welcome back to the Chicago Charities. We're in the quarterfinal round of this match between Annika Van Starrenburg and Flor Hanisch versus Martina Ondrejkova and Anna Zubori. Patty, we're going 3.
We're going 3, Mark. We had a big turnaround there in the second set. I think Van Starrenburg got really hot toward the end of that set and, you know, was able to capitalize on some beautiful setups, you know, off of really good return of serves. And I think we saw a little chink in the armor of Ondrejkova and Zubori at the net. I think there's a lot of indecision. Their positioning looks a little questionable at times. And all of a sudden, we're in a battle here, and I thought we were done about a half hour ago.
Do you think Ondrejkova Zubori thought it was over? They're up 5-1.
I think they did, Mark.
I think so too, Patty.
I think they kind of stopped and just were waiting for the match to finish.
Van Starrenburg starts the third set with a fault. 4-1 Darda Shea on the next court.
Okay, Mark, I think this is on Hansich's paddle out of the deuce court for the baseline team. What do you think? In terms of she's gotta make many fewer unforced errors.
Well, she didn't in the second set, and they still managed to win. A little wind sprint from Zubori going back.
Did they win it, Mark?
They did.
Did Ondrejkova and Zubori lose it?
Maybe a little bit of both, but isn't that always the case?
There's that confusion at the net. But Mark, here's the deal. Martina and Anna both backed up on the service line and no pressure from Hansich and Van Starrenburg. They stayed, you know, a foot behind in the green back there and didn't take advantage of it.
Great exchange there at the net.
I mean, I think they have to do a little better job of capitalizing off of those good lobs in the points. I love that blitz.
Oh, great blitz, but she misses the volley. And again, you don't see the communication you want to see from Ondrejkova and Zubori. With Hansich blitzing, somebody's got to yell, blitz hard, something. Communicate to your partner, your opponent's blitzing.
Love 40.
Well, you just hate to fault when you're staying back. It's never good, but especially there.
This was sort of how Annika started the first set.
15-40.
Really, some early set struggles on her serve.
The bullet court winner there. Love that insincere apology, Patty. That goes to what you talked about, Patty, that Van Starrenburg's been hot, and Hansich needs to bring the play to her, but she's not doing that. Certainly didn't do it that game.
And I think that's the challenge when you are offensive-minded like Flora is, and she's got great weapons. But I think you have to honor what's going on in this particular match and how the flow is going, and their points are, they're getting them from the baseline when it's off of Annika's paddle more in the ad court.
First game, Ondrejkova Zubori have won in about half an hour.
Love 15.
5-1 Darda Shea.
Love 30.
Again, the confusion at the net. That was really Ondrejkova's ball. Zubori kind of knew it, went to hit it anyway, missed it wide. Same thing there.
Martina thought she was hitting that overhead.
She prepared well. And again, Zubori fades back while Ondrejkova's hitting the overhead, and then when she closes, she misses the volley because she's created forward movement as opposed to being stationary and waiting for the ball. Great pickup. Wow, some pickup that was.
(30-40).
When the blitz goes well, it looks great. When it doesn't, not so much. Big point right here.
Game Van Starrenburg, Hansich. Games are 1-all. Third set.
Who's going to hold serve, Mark?
15.
I think you are, Patty.
I think I have just as good a chance right now of anybody who's on the court. Wow, that was really close.
Yeah, it was.
Great rip.
15-all.
But Ondrejkova hits a soft overhead into Van Starrenburg's strength. Why would you hit the ball there? Dan Englander, APTA board members here.
He's trying to figure out that answer, Mark.
Good call.
Wow, that ball was coming down.
15-30.
15-30.
Great move from Hansich. But there's a ball, when they're staying back, you don't want to hit the ball to the Van Starrenburg backhand. That's the spot in the court you're trying to avoid, and they keep finding it on a regular basis.
I haven't seen as many first volleys in a match, Mark, since Dave O'Muller was playing, where he didn't mind in Gambino that ball dropping in front of their feet and putting that ball in play. But when they do it out here, they might make that half volley, but it does open themselves up to being really vulnerable for the next shot if it's a blitz.
(5-2) Dardis and Shea.
Just got that report from Dan Englander, APTA board member. He's been watching that Dardis Shea match intensely. Mark, early on, and I said the reason why I thought Hansich was gonna come down to her, I thought if she could raise her level of play, that they would take this match.
Even though they won that point, you saw Zubori bending over again. I wonder if she's tired or cramping. Smart move by Ondrejkova to come over and give her some time.
Beautiful shot of the cloudy skies over Chicago.
Great exchange. Another missed overhead from Zubori. I really like how Hansich has stayed aggressive. Even when she struggled, she stayed aggressive. I'm thinking hold. How about you?
Well, I think so.
And you can see the level of patience, how the tempo of the match has changed.
So my question mark goes to Zubori now with that flyer on that overhead, which I saw a little bit earlier in the day, and then she seemed to have cleaned it up. But she really wants to hit every overhead for her team, I have a feeling.
More confusion this point. He'll pay for it. Wonder if she's getting tired. Some positive energy from them.
Advantage.
Another break point.
Mark, we talked about one of the keys to this match was the tempo, and the tempo is now favoring Van Starrenburg. Hansich, the match is totally slowed down. Has it slowed down, or have we slowed down?
Maybe both. Better overheads at this point. Misses the lob long.
Game,
and
Ondrejkova,
we have another
Zubori.
break.
They lead 2 games
So
to
far,
1.
you still have the same
Third set.
opportunity to hold as they do, Patty.
What's the time on the match now? Can we get that? An hour and 47.
27.
Oh, an
So
hour
we
and
had a
27.
26-minute first set. Since then, we played an hour one set in 3 games.
Now, it does look something's going on with Zubori, and I don't know if it's fitness related or a little bit of an injury. She looks like something's going on with her right leg.
Yeah, she's been bending over.
Or maybe a little back issue, I'm not sure. But it doesn't matter. She's got to suck it up right here, Mark, and they have an opportunity to get into the semifinals of the Chicago Charities.
Patty, do you think Cynthia Dardis' game is thrown off by playing it against someone older than she is?
Rare that she gets out on the court with another 50-somethinger.
Great competitor. Okay. Ondrejkova to serve, 2-1, final set.
But Jay McNitt's one of the iron women from the Chicago area, and she's been one of the top players in the sport for decades, quite frankly, and she's a huge asset to the game. We love watching her compete.
I don't know what happened there. Annika, I think, hit that off the side of her paddle, Van Starrenburg.
That paddle has a big sweet spot.
Love 15.
There's a lot to be said for putting the ball in play, Mark.
It's a good way not to lose points.
And when I say are points won, or are they lost? We're seeing
That
points
one was lost.
being lost. Mark, you're very good at this, picking up whether points are won or lost.
I'm very good at picking up when points are lost. It looked like Zubori wanted to let that ball go, but it hits her in the shoulder.
Love 30.
I don't think she liked that Martina hit to Floor's forehand. She can hit to Floor's forehand, just not Martina.
Love 40.
Great blitz from Van Starrenburg.
I just think she's coming in on that low ball. They've got to close in on the net, try to stuff a volley, or leave the court wide open altogether and just run back.
And again, Zubori gets caught off the net when Ondrejkova hits the overhead. No reason to be back there. Great shot for Van Starrenburg. First hold wins, Patty?
I'm thinking that could be the case. We talked about it early. It's volley style, how close they go to the net. And you just can't play off the net and, you know, win some of these close matches. Huge credit to Hansich and Van Starrenburg right now, Mark. They are battling slowly by slowly, where they've evened this thing up, and I am shocked because I thought they were headed out of here 45 minutes ago.
Back-to-back great lobs.
See, you could just see 3 shots in a row. Annika kind of had her pick and spotted her drives, moved them around, found a little bit of an opening.
But that last one, Zubori was so far off the net. If she was on the net, she would have stuffed her. It looks like Dardis and Shea have won on the next court. Great pickup from Hansich.
Love.
I think Ondrejkova and Zubori are in big trouble, Patty. 30 love.
You know, they were talking a lot in that second set. You know, Martina was kind of getting in on his ear a little bit. I think they need to have some little chats here and kind of get a little together more as a team. That's right through the middle. Great shot from Floor out of that deuce court. And it was really Martina's volley in the middle. She didn't go to cover it.
40 love.
And she didn't go to cover it because during that point, her partner Zubori had gone to her forehand several times. And the problem with doing that is then you can't close in as the person to the right of the team at the net.
(40-15).
Sneak move in by Hansich there, and Zubori picked it up and just blocked her.
Great volley.
40-30.
It couldn't be an easy hold. And there's our first hold, Patty.
Game on Starrenburg, Hansich. They lead 3-2, third set.
And I mean, sometimes when you watch from over here, we do sound like a broken record because we see the same issue over and over in these matches, and you could just see that Zubori and Ondrejkova were just standing around, and they're so good. They're used to just reaching and coming up with it, and they're not coming up with it now. And so they can't rely like on fundamental positioning to pull them through here. So I think they're in trouble at the net. Good aggressive volley there, Mark. You see that? Her back feels better. Her injury just went away. I always kind of feel like when you're winning, you don't hurt as much as when you're losing.
Yeah, this game is going to determine whether we got a match or not. Oh,
wow.
What a shot from Van Starrenburg.
It's your call.
Great shot. I don't think they called it out, did they, Mark?
15-all.
15-all.
Not sure she had a clear view of it.
(15-30).
First ball Van Starrenburg's missed in a while.
Her partner Hansich went up to the service line. She was feeling really confident that Van Starrenburg would get that good low return in. One of the few she hasn't made lately. Another half volley. Another half volley. Opened up the shot for her, and Hansich. Great shot.
Reaching again, though.
See, I love that play. Starting with Hansich going up the line to bring Van Starrenburg in the point.
Ondrejkova catches the nick. Big point. Back to deuce. Got themselves in trouble with that down-up overhead, and Hansich took advantage of it. They were able to make the forehand volley. She waves off the I formation.
Really good deep serve there.
Advantage, Zubori.
Love to hear the positive energy from Zubori.
Laura knows she had a missed opportunity there. She's been doing much better the last couple of games, and that's too bad she missed that.
That was a tennis volley, wasn't it?
And the big swinging, big backswing.
All you want to do is hit that ball soft in the middle of the court.
Those are the shots that are so easy on a Monday night, really difficult during a tournament. Great return, volley error. Big opportunity here, break point for Hansich and Van Starrenburg.
Second one of the game. That's a much better overhead from Zubori.
And better is a ball that goes deep so that you make your opponents play the ball from the green.
And that's the one she has to avoid.
Right, that was short, didn't get into two screens, sets up a player.
And Hansich read it perfectly.
Hit
the ball in a downward trajectory.
Beautifully timed forehand there. And all of a sudden, Van Starrenburg, Hansich up 4-2, third set. Quarterfinal match, APTA Chicago Charities Grand Prix event.
Big shout out, Patty, to Shannon Vincent, the APTA Grand Prix coordinator, who's done a sterling job, as always, here at the Chicago Charities.
She keeps all the matches on schedule, and Mark does a great job.
Handles the umpires, gets drinks for the players. I think she baked the lunch today, Patty, I heard.
She takes care of everyone.
You can see how many opportunities Hansich and Van Starrenburg are getting from the backcourt off their lobs.
Great spot. You can see a little confusion between the net players, hitting paddles even that time.
And the contrast between Van Starrenburg and Hansich when they're at the net and Ondrejkova and Zubori is really stark, isn't it?
It is. Oh boy. And just stark in the communication differences.
Yep.
How many shots are confusing shots?
Misses that tweener wide.
And see,
15 all.
That's sort of a ridiculous shot right at that point because they're down 2-4 third set, trying to get in the semifinals. We know she can hit it. Who cares? Put the ball in play. You can't not put that ball back in play. You lost the net, throw up a lob. Make it look boring.
Boring is effective.
Oh, I know, Mark. And that's just becoming more disciplined, a little more maturity as a player. That time she didn't go between her legs and didn't put up a lob again.
Another miss.
Same result, lost the point. They're
She's
sort
not
of
moving.
handing it over now.
Not moving as well as she did earlier in those last two lobs.
And again, when you're winning, you feel better. Gigantic momentum swings in this match.
Again, the short overhead gets them hurt.
They lead 5-2, third set.
This is not going to be a pleasant loss by any stretch for Ondrejkova Zubori, but I think it'll be a great learning experience for them. Because I think they played, say, a sloppy first set and a half, but I don't think it was the quality they can ultimately play, even though it had them in a winning position. and ultimately it caught up with them. And you're starting to see the flaws in their game, the mistakes in positioning that they make with the overheads, the volleys, that come back to haunt them.
And you'll only see it if the other team puts enough balls in play.
And that's what the good teams do. They teach you what you do wrong.
So our defending national champs, Mark, are showing a little bit of that grit that,
Love 15.
you know, make them such a fabulous team.
Great hands and a little bit of luck.
15 all.
Beautiful return from Hansich.
15-30.
Hansich just really started to turn better with that forehand. I'm surprised they played her straight up. When they've gone Australian or I formation, it's been much less effective. Oh, what a half volley.
That was crazy good.
30
Great
all.
idea for Van Starrenburg. Just
She
misses
saw,
it wide.
yeah, she saw the ball. Martina was going up the middle with that shot. Jumped in there. Oh.
Zubori's ball was flying out by a lot.
Van Starrenburg was committed to the blitz, and Zubori did the right shot by kind of taking it right to her. Really good play. Started with the lob out of the deuce court again, Mark.
But again, some confusion at the net.
That's great.
Great backhand.
That's greater.
Oh,
That's
what a
greatest.
shot. Wow, we might want to replay on that one. Save that one for our
Ondrejkova,
highlight reel.
Zubori.
Big hold. Love to see him competing like that, hanging in there. Make him
Starrenburg
serve
Hansich
it out.
lead, 5-3. Third set.
You don't think we're going to see another turn, do you, Patty?
I do not.
Me either.
Kind of feeling like it's on Hansich Van Starrenburg's paddle right now.
Oh, Hansich wants that one back.
Love 15.
She contacted that ball around the service line from shoulder height. Just a little close to the side wire. Good overheads from Ondrejkova Zubori.
Love 30.
Love 30.
Just when you think it's going one way, it goes the other way.
Love the competitive instinct from them, hanging in there.
Love 40.
It's so hard to close, isn't it, Patty? Toughest thing in sports. Especially in platform tennis. You can't step up and hit a big serve.
You don't get an easy winner anywhere.
And there's the break.
Game, Ondrejkova, Zubori.
4-5.
Van Starrenburg Hansich lead, 5-4. Third set.
So the winner of this, Mark, who do they have next?
Dardis and Shea.
Do you think it'll be a 3-setter? Doesn't matter who it is.
And
And
in
then-
the other semifinal, we have Cruz Nicolescu, Jaffney Mollenvold, rematch from Pittsburgh,
What time will those matches be live streamed?
9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Right
Okay.
here on eNet Live.
Okay, Anna Zubori to serve to stay in the match. We'll see if she's got the legs. You got to wonder if she's just tired or hurt. Oh, great
Wow.
volley from
Sick
Ondrejkova.
volley.
15 love.
Wow, what a little
Oh,
lob.
great get.
Yep, great get. Surprised Martina didn't take the net there. Here she goes.
Little one up, one back. Some confusion at the net.
Maybe she didn't want to have a jump ball situation. By a jump ball, I mean a lob goes up that looks routine, but you have two players going for it too much of the time here.
It really looks to me like Zubori's legs are bothering her. I don't know if she's tired or she's got a muscle pull. But she's just not moving. Same quickness that she was earlier. She's hanging in there and competing.
This is critical right here. She can't spray an overhead. You know, you could kind of feel like she was going to go for something a little too much, and she reined it in to her credit.
In the middle of the point, it looked like she didn't quite stop, but hesitated. Couldn't tell. Gets a lucky
40
break
love.
there. Point for 5-all. Patty, you had your jacket on. You were halfway out the door. You hit the ignition switch in your car.
I thought I was going to dinner.
Sit down, Patty. We're not done yet. More confusion.
More
40-15.
confusion. No player on the net to cut off any volleys. Floors to Hanish's credit. She made sure she got that drive in play. She just didn't do that in the early stages of this match. Beautiful serve up the tee there, Mark.
Five all, Patty,
Game.
exactly as you predicted.
Ondrejkova, Zubori. Games are 5-all. Third set.
Love the fight from Ondrejkova and Zubori. Looked like they were done, ready to go home. You'd written them off completely.
I had.
And here they are, 5-all in the third.
I traded them in my fantasy paddle league.
Yeah, they just keep getting hurt with that overhead over
love.
there.
So Mark, the entire strategy was to go after Hanish. I think it's time to change that strategy.
Yep.
She's made them pay because she's put the ball in play and elevated her level here. I think they've got to move the overheads over now. Right there.
Great get off the neck.
They really have hit very few double screens over to Van Starrenburg this whole match.
Yeah.
Great spot by Annika.
30 love.
Yep, great forehand.
Last time she had a short ball, she put it over and Martina came up with a great hands volley. That time she kept it on the right hip of the players at the net.
Looked like Hanish was trying to let that ball go
30-15.
through and it happened to hit her paddle. Great get from Ondrejkova. That's a ball at the net she's got to shift on. Great
Beautiful lob at that deuce court.
Great slot, too. Oh, that was close. Getting the nick.
I think they heard me, Mark. A little bit more into Van Starrenburg.
Oh, strange miss
40,
from
15.
Ondrejkova at that point. Totally unforced. Keys for me, Patty, is that Van Starrenburg and Hansich have eliminated a lot of the faulting. That's helped them.
And I think Hansich just has put so many more balls in play here.
So I'd have liked in Zubori and Ondrejkova hit some more soft balls down the middle to Hansich's backhand. That overhead right there. Good communication in the backcourt there from Hansich. Zubori catches the nick.
40-30.
This match deserves a third set tiebreak, doesn't it, Patty?
Oh, I think we should play it out, Mark.
12-all tiebreak?
No tiebreaker.
No tiebreak. A great volley.
Deuce.
Back to deuce.
Boy, she buried that forehand low in that corner.
Man, that ball came off her paddle so low, didn't it?
Contact point. She let it really drop.
Well, they're sticking with their strategy over there. Great lob. Oh.
Beautiful combination of shots here.
And a heck of a volley from Zubori. More confusion at the net.
Phenomenal.
Oh. Oh.
What a point.
Great lob. Oh! What a tremendous point.
Advantage Van Starrenburg.
In the quick hands.
Boy, she has quite a set of mitts, doesn't she? Point for 6-5. Won't compose herself.
You can see how Floor's feeling it now. I mean, she's doing a great job.
That's good. And that's not.
Huge combination from Hansich. Peppered him with some drives. Hit a beautiful lob. And
6 games to 5.
we're at 6-5, third set.
Well, we talked earlier about Hansic's willingness to continue to hit the ball even when she was struggling. And if you go into a shell, it's very hard to come out of it. But in her case, she was willing to keep driving the ball and eventually found her rhythm in her game. Has been the best player on the court in the third set. So Ondrejkova will serve, stay in the match. They've already won 3 other games when they were on the edge of the abyss. Love the positive energy from them. Hand slap to start the game. Yeah, it's more of a lunge. That's why I think there's something wrong with her leg. You don't see her moving that well. But they haven't adjusted. They haven't put Ondrejkova over there hit more of the overheads. So you'd have to assume it's just okay. She catches the nick.
15 love.
Yeah, it just seems Zubori does not want to be the right of the two players. And I think she plays off the net a lot. And maybe that's why Martina doesn't mind just being over on that right side. Great pickup again. But again, it was a great pickup, but she was off the net, and there goes Hansich.
Yep.
Pretty much the play that made them national champions right there, right, Mark? Right here, vintage.
Great blitz. They can smell the finish line. 15-30. And again, they've gone away from the I formation with Australia, and they've got hurting by the blitzing.
I think she's going to drive the return.
I think so too. Hansich catches the let cord. That takes us to double match point.
40.
Great forehand.
As John Milbank says, you don't get let cords unless you drive the ball.
You don't get let cords if you lob. And there it is, game, set, match. Hansich van Starrenburg. Crazy match, Patty. Any closing thoughts?
I think it was, you know, I think they did a great job. All the credit to Hansich van Starrenburg. They hung in there and ended up winning it with what they do best, and that pouncing and blitzing and the return of serves. And I said at the beginning of the third set, I thought Hansich was going to be the key player. I think I was right about that, Mark.
I think you were right about that, as you are about most things, Patty.
I got lucky on that one.
Okay, and that's a wrap delivered by Uline. We'll leave you with a few highlights. Be sure to join us tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for another full day of live streaming from the Chicago Charities.